Hello and welcome to Miniature Addiction Club. My name's Lou and today I'm going to be going through my bead stash and making a bunch of easy DIY dollhouse miniatures. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that I have recently launched my Patreon page, where you can subscribe as a paid member for early access to my videos and exclusive extras. I'll leave it linked below if you want to check it out. Right now, I'm just taking apart some of the second-hand beaded jewellery I have been collecting to add to my bead stash. Buying second-hand costume jewellery is an inexpensive way to find unique beads for this sort of project. Here we can see some of the beads that I have to work with. The first item I'll be making is a floor-standing candelabra. I started by separating this bead to create two flat sections, and I'm using one of them as the base. Then I took some thick wire and added a bead to the bottom and glued this to the base. Then I took some thinner wire and wrapped this around the centre post. I added a bead to the middle and wrapped more wire around the top section. Then I added another bead. I'm mostly using UV resin to secure all of my beads in place, as it cures quickly and forms a strong bond. I did experiment throughout this process using other types of glue, but I found that the UV resin worked best. Then I added a bead end cap to the top for the candle sconce. I painted the candelabra with a mixture of black acrylic paint and baking soda to make it look like wrought iron. And I made a miniature candle. If you want to see how I made the candles, that tutorial will be accessible on my Patreon page under the paid tier. I also made a pair of smaller candlestick holders. I used the same flat section as the base and threaded the beads onto a flat-headed pin. This helped to hold them in place while I glued each of the beads together. I finished them off with another bead end cap and trimmed the wire post. Then I gave them a coat of black acrylic paint as a base coat, and once that had dried, went ahead and painted them in an antique gold. I also made some wax candles for these as well. Up next, I'll be making a variety of miniature perfume bottles. This is one of the easiest things you can make using beads, so I highly recommend giving it a go. The process for each of these is pretty much the same, and I'm using a larger bead for the body of the bottle and a smaller bead on the top for the lid. I wanted to make a couple of vintage looking perfume bottles as well, so here I'm adding a small piece of bent wire with a bead on the end for the atomizer. I also added another bead to the top for the lid. I think this one is really pretty. And then I made a few more bottles using pretty much the same method. Let me know in the comments below which miniature beaded item is your favourite. I love hearing what you guys think. Up next, I'm making a miniature hookah pipe. I threaded the beads onto some wire and glued each one in place with resin. Next, I wrap some thread around some wire to make the hose. I added a little bead to the side and attached the hose. The next item I'll be making is a lamp. I glued a bead to an end cap for the base, and while that was drying I glued a larger end cap to a clear bead which will be the light bulb. I added a little spacer bead and glued the two parts together. And there we have our first miniature lamp. I assembled the second lamp in basically the same way. Up next, I'm making a little oil lamp. I glued 1/2 of a Chicago screw to a large flat bead and added an end cap to the top. Then I attached some clear plastic tubing for the glass. Once everything had dried, I painted it using acrylic paint. I also made this very simple trinket dish or plant stand by adding a base to this oversized bead cap. The next item I'll be making is this little teapot. I used a bead cap for the base of the teapot and used UV resin to glue a larger bead on top for the teapot body. Then I added one of the little flower beads I had to the top for the lid. For the teapot spout, I cut and bent some wire and secured this in place with UV resin as well. Then I repeated this process for the teapot handle. And there we have a super easy and cute miniature teapot. The last item I'll be making is this crystal decanter. I took a large round clear faceted bead for the body of the decanter and attached a clear push pin for the neck of the bottle. Then I added a smaller faceted bead to the top for the stopper. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head on over to my Patreon page where you can join as either a free or a paid member to help support my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.